What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pitch Pass Podcast. I'm Brett.
It's me, Brando.
It's been a little while. The NFL draft occurred. There have been some interesting things that have happened in the offseason. NFL, white t-shirt.
NFL. Yes, exactly. Representing all 32 teams and also the whole league headquarters back in New York City. Just
I've got.
Roger. Okay,
I'm a blank. So I'm painting the picture of
yeah,
anywhere
you're the
DeAndre Hopkins
canvas.
could be traded. Yes.
Oh, I was about to say you're the canvas that the 2023 season is going to be
Oh,
painted on.
true. Actually, real. Get a green screen in here. Just.
Just right on, dude. Just right on. It's being project. So every week we're actually gonna have a live stream where we pick a game to be projected off Brett's shirt. So
I thought you were being serious for a second. I was like, this is news to me, but all right, that's
no,
fine. I'll rock with
it's super fun.
it. uh,
Imagine the work of having that go off live and having that work.
I can't. I have to
You
itch.
would have to stay still for the
Yeah,
entire game.
the entire
No,
game.
no piss break. We'll just have to get you a cafter.
Just lay me on my side and just like project it onto my back. I'd be like scrolling on my phone. That'd be
At that
so
point, we
sad.
just need to find. We just need to find a chubby friend, a friend that's a little bigger. Be the. We need someone. We need an IMAX friend.
Oh, hey, I see what we can do.
See what we do.
See
I
if we
might as
can.
well just turn it on.
What?
Have you ever seen It's Always Sunny in
Of
Philadelphia?
course, I'm a trash man. Of course.
You know, I'm terrible at the character names. You know how the one guy progressively is getting fatter as the show's going on?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about and how he used to eat a pint of ice cream
Like
every morning before.
frozen ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, melted ice cream every morning. Because it's so much easier to drink the calories down than to like actually consume them.
Uh, Mac. I can't think of his like actual real name, but Mac. Yes.
Yeah. You know why he did that?
Because I remember hearing him talk about it in an interview. He wanted to prove that you can burn off the calories after gaining weight, uh, without like going through these crazy Hollywood transformations, right?
Ye- Yes, but there was also another reason. His main inspiration was because all the actors and actresses from the show Friends
Yeah.
got more attractive and got in better shape as the show went
Ah.
on going forward, and he thought it'd be hilarious if he did the opposite.
That show's just I love it. I love It's
It's
Always
Always
Sunny.
Sunny in Philadelphia is such a good show.
Speaking of which, good shows.
Very
We're both rewatching The League right now.
Oh, absolutely fantastic show. If any of our viewers want a nice raunchy laugh, it is a raunchy show, not a show
Would
for
not be allowed today.
would
No
oh it,
chance.
it would not get past cancel
No.
culture.
No, it would not.
But go check it out. It's on Hulu. It's called The League. Super funny show. It's just a bunch of hilarious moments. Even if you're not super into fantasy football or not part of a fantasy football league, you'll get the you watch our show. So you obviously like sports, you like football. You're gonna
Yeah.
get the joke from there.
It's
And
still
it's a funny
really,
show.
yeah, definitely. It's like it's a very stereotypical representation of what an adult group of friends that have been friends since high school and been in a fantasy football league together would act like. Definitely. Um,
Shiva.
the Shiva Kamini Samakanda Kram. Yeah.
Oh,
No noise complaints tonight. I toned it down a little bit. That's okay.
no noise complaints tonight.
So the very first topic we have, DeAndre Hopkins has been released by the Cardinals.
Which I love that the Cardinals chose to just do it now. Take the lumps, take the cap hit this year. You know you're not fucking competing. You
No.
know that, and honestly, you're doing a service to DeAndre Hopkins. You're allowing him to open up way more to where he could end up. Because now he can control what kind of contract he's receiving with his next NFL team.
Definitely. I think it's kind of interesting because it's like what direction he wants to go in. And I think
Mhm.
it was kind of interesting what Baltimore did because you're not really sure how many layers that has. Like, obviously, D-Hop is not going to be happy getting passes from Colt fucking McCoy. He's not going to be happy. You don't know where Kyler's progression is. So the Ravens are like, fuck it. OBJ is a Super Bowl winning wide receiver who's been an all-pro for majority of his career. He's at least had that upside or that caliber, if not the actual title. Uh, Outside of availability and health, he's been an elite receiver for the majority, if not all of his career. So
Mm-hmm.
why not pay him like one? And then D Hop's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, you see what
Mm-hmm.
OBJ is getting paid coming off an ACL? Like, what about me? I was averaging like 10 catches per game in the games I played last year. So it's like, I, what are you supposed to do about that? He's not willing to take less money.
Yeah, at that point, you just gotta let him go. You just gotta let him walk. And for D Hop, now it's about finding a situation, like he said, to where he can possibly win a Super Bowl. Because let's be very real. This is a team sport. And unless you're a quarterback, unless your team has team success of some kind, it's really hard to make money off the fucking field because people don't know who you are.
Absolutely. Yes,
You're wearing a
definitely.
helmet. You're
Yeah,
wearing a helmet. Like they can't see your face. It's not the NBA.
so DeAndre Hopkins was recently asked on I Am Athlete podcast the quarterbacks he'd love to play with, and what he said was Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. So,
And then he started really creaming his pants about Josh Allen,
so
like
yeah.
calling him the new school Andrew Luck.
So let's do a little bit of how much would it move the needle. So with Josh Allen, we spent God, it's already 9:40. We got in here at like 8:15. We've been talking about more than a few things, but we talked about that for at least 20 minutes. Like, if you have DeAndre Hopkins, even at this point in his career, I would still say he's an elite top 10 receiver if healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins on one team with a quarterback with a fucking cannon,
Mm-hmm.
on top of Dalton Kincaid, on top of Gabe Davis, and hopefully we'll see some of James Cook emerging this year. So I think you have a running back who has good hands. You have all of those pass catchers in that offense. Uh, I think the only way, Bills Mafia, we love you. You do wonderful things. You are amazing and generous people. Please don't crucify me. The only way the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl is if they make a move like this. And that's not guaranteed. The
Mm-hmm.
AFC is the wild, wild west, and there is a rattlesnake at every turn.
Yeah, and it's an incredibly tough conference to come out of, and at that point, you're also running the risk with D Hop. Hey, another injury can pop up on this roster at any time. You could really hamstring yourself to D Hop cap wise and not really have much flexibility to keep working on making other roster adjustments throughout the year.
Definitely.
And but I do think it's a move that they should definitely look into making.
Oh,
Get
definitely.
yourself that high end compliment to Stephon Diggs.
Especially in that division, if you can distinguish yourself that step. Because, I mean, you look at what the Dolphins have. Like, even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't consider Jalen Waddle an elite receiver, he has elite upside. And Tyreek, while he is still that elite receiver, he's in the same kind of category where it's like he's aging. He's still an immaculate athlete. He will still cook you, but he's aging. So if you're looking at these other teams, like, I, the AFC East is a really, really interesting division. Uh,
Yeah, because I feel like the only team in the AFC East that's dead right now is the Chiefs.
The
Not the Chiefs,
Patriots.
the Patriots.
I knew what you meant.
The old Chiefs,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
will, the last
The last
dynasty
dynasty.
before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I do think that would definitely give them a big chance against the Dolphins. I think the
Yeah.
Dolphins and the Jets are right now their biggest competition.
Yeah.
If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, another fun location to look at, and I'm gonna stick with the AFC with my pick, Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's a really good one.
They need an X wide receiver because neither Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk are high end X's. He's definitely better than Zay Jones. He would come in and be.
No,
Yep.
I was gonna let you finish.
I was about to say, like, he would come in and probably be he would be at least the second best wide receiver on that roster.
Oh, second best.
If
I
not the best.
I would say he would be the best. Calvin Ridley gets mad disrespect, is what I have to say.
Oh, oh yeah.
I
But this is
love
loading up
him.
offense.
I completely understand. So I I definitely agree with that, and I think Trevor Lawrence has been underrated because of how bad that Jaguars team was, and it's not his fault. It's not. We saw what he was able to do last year with no number one and with ETN underperforming. Like, and
I wouldn't say ETN was underperforming. ETN was still doing well with the touches he was getting.
for
I think,
for the perception, it was underperforming. But didn't we just find out that he was injured last year too and trying to get healthy?
and he just came back from a
Yeah,
serious foot injury as well, the
yeah.
running back. But also
So
for D Hop, you get to go to a team with a young, great quarterback. You don't have to carry the passing game
yeah,
by any means. Doug Peterson has used wide receivers like you with your skill set before. Alshon Jeffries came over to Philly, still put up 800 yards and 9 TDs his first year there under Doug Peterson. That is a similar impact that DeAndre Hopkins could have.
yeah.
And here's the real kicker that some of these other teams can't give you. If D Hop's going to take a little bit less money, why not go somewhere with no state income tax?
That's
State of
definitely
Florida,
true.
no state income tax.
Definitely true.
You can take a little bit less money in comparison to these other teams, but still have more at the end of the day. And you have a chance of competing in the AFC and maybe making it to the Super Bowl still.
I'll piggyback off that and talk about competing in the AFC and the Super Bowl, and I'll just kind of lump these together. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts were two of the quarterbacks that he listed. He didn't list Trevor Lawrence, but I do think that would be a great landing spot. I think if you give Trevor Lawrence a true number one, he doesn't need it, but if
No.
you give him a guy that he can just like completely rely on,
That you
uh,
can just trust and throw it up to.
d- even if you're doubling him, Trevor Lawrence will find a way to just farm yards on the guys that are now open and not being covered. Um, so yeah, I think that's a fantastic one. But in terms of the Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, the Eagles have one of the most stacked rosters, if not the most stacked roster, and are really a team that will be very well off moving forward. They have their quarterback who's getting paid. They have a couple running backs in this year that you might not have long term, but they're really fucking good. You have wide receivers that are really fucking good. You have an amazing defense that might have gotten slightly downgraded in the short run. To your credit, you said that. But long term,
Oh,
you have set up.
I, they didn't hear that in the video though.
No, I
I
know,
just
but
I will say that real. I'll say this real quick. Eagles defense and their offense. They lost their OC, the Indianapolis defensive coordinator, is now the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. They lost Javon Hargrave, which is I think their biggest loss.
yes.
Chauncey Gardner Johnson's gone as well in the defense, but they did get Jalen Carter. They did get Nolan Smith. Like you were saying, a little bit worse on the short term, but in the long term, you're 1,000% right, Brett. It's a home run of an offseason still.
And the only reason I would think that might not be the best fit, I think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. What he's able to do in that true sense of the dual threat quarterback, he does something that not many other quarterbacks can do. But I think that Hop is still confident in his abilities to be a number one receiver, especially if you're a number one complement. So that's why I would think the Chiefs, admittedly slightly biased, but I would think that the Chiefs are a better fit because the only person you're really 100% contesting targets for is Travis Kelsey, who's also, what, 33? So
And
MVS is not a wide receiver one.
oh, not a wide receiver one, but still taking away targets.
Oh, definitely,
That's more.
definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that for the target situation. Tony's maybe competing for it, but Tony can't stay healthy either. The man's made out of a 50-year-old rubber band.
He is staying healthy this year.
I hope you're
I am
correct.
I am manifesting. I
Your man.
am selling shards of my soul one at a time.
I wonder. I wonder if he changed his diet.
It's very
'Cause
possible.
I've heard rumors that was the biggest thing holding him back from staying healthy was his diet, was nutrition.
You want to talk about diet, actually? I have a really interesting one for you.
Okay.
Uh, DK Metcalf. I know I was talking to you about him earlier today. I was listening
Mhm.
to him 2 days ago, something like that, talking about how uh, people really weren't exaggerating the amount of candy that he ate. But
No.
now he does still eat candy, but it's significantly less than what he ate before. Um,
So he's not eating a whole bag of candy before
No,
practice, whole bag of candy after.
just like a handful. um,
Not
no,
shitty
but
amount for rural people, but such an improvement for DK.
and I mean the thing is like obviously you can't give him shit because look at him, but right now I honestly I don't want to take the next one away from you, but I think for me if you are in win now mode, the Seahawks are not a bad choice.
Ooh. So so Seattle would just be going super deep at wide receiver. So at this point, JSN is just coming off the bench.
I honestly would that be the worst thing in the
I
world?
mean, it would be, but man, at that point,
Yeah.
that's wild.
I think the
Okay,
Chiefs are objectively the best pick. It's just all about salary cap. But
yeah. Okay. So, so if we're thinking just, man, I'm trying to also keep it realistic because I'm not going to say a team like the Jets.
yeah,
If the Jets,
no
if the
money.
Jets didn't pay too much for Aaron Rodgers' best friends to be on the roster, they would be able to afford DK like D Hop, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
no.
Lazard. Sorry,
Yeah, Lazard
Cobb.
and Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had to think of one more just to keep it fun and flirty.
You want to talk about Lamar or Justin Herbo?
Yeah, I would say probably. I don't even really like the fit for the Chargers even because the Chargers have a bunch of receivers that are slow.
Well, that was just one of the quarterbacks he said he wanted to play with, but
Yeah. I. Yeah, it would probably just have to be Lamar. Lamar's the only other quarterback that makes sense for him to go play with, and I don't know about you, but I'm still not sold on the receiving core as a whole.
yeah, definitely.
We haven't seen Odell Beckham Jr. playing a game since the Super Bowl over a year ago. So it's been
Yeah,
almost like it's been over a full year since OBJ has played. We saw how Deshaun Watson looked with a year of rust,
yeah, for
year point
real.
rust
But quarterback versus
receiver.
yeah, I and
Um,
the other differentiating factor is in this situation, DeAndre Hopkins, OBJ, and Saquon all work out together.
mhm.
I would love that too.
I
That'd be
mean, at
fun.
that point, he might. So he's going to the Giants, right?
Yeah, all right.
Well,
No,
at that point in
he
the
wants to
game,
win. He wants to win.
he wants to win. So, but man, there really shouldn't be too many teams that he's honestly considering. It should
No,
honestly just be the five that we listed there.
six including
I
Jacksonville, but yeah, yes,
six including Jacksonville.
and the Seahawks. Yeah,
Philly, I feel like could be a dark horse, but I love the idea of Jacksonville. Also gives them a chance to fucking beat up on the Houston Texans twice a year.
Miami could also be a dark horse candidate
Mm.
if they could find some money.
If they, yeah, find some money. I want them to find that money. I want them to tell me where they found it too.
Literally. You okay? Do you honestly think that a couple of those guys would not take even a small pay cut to have
No,
D Hop?
no,
I don't know, man.
I don't think at all. I think if you're playing with the Dolphins, you're already taking the pay cut.
Well, okay, but again, state
You
income
already probably
tax.
took
You
one.
don't have state income tax.
I know. I'm saying that's probably the reason why they've already taken one.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Thinking about these guys that have already been negotiating for a minute at this point.
Yeah.
And let's be real. If you're D Hop, are you going to the Dolphins with the shot of Tua not playing?
Nah. I mean, there's very slim odds. Like, yeah, thanks. Great job, Dolphins, for upgrading your offensive line.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It
They get a low effort sticker is what they get from me.
the low effort. But no, man, I don't think the Chargers would pull the trigger on D Hop, especially since they just drafted Quinn Johnston.
Yeah. They
But
want him to have that. Sorry.
Seattle's interesting, and if San Francisco could ever afford it, that'd be another
Yeah,
interesting fit.
for
But
sure.
but like I just said with Tua,
Who's playing?
who's throwing him the
Yeah.
ball? Because guess what? He wants a proven elite quarterback to throw him the football.
Ah,
That's something
then
they don't have
Tampa
there.
Bay is his place. Baker Mayfield, quarterback one.
Ta- Tampa is so terrible.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like they are in such a shitty situation. I can't wait for Baker to get benched 4 weeks in for Kyle Trask to tank it the rest of the way
Okay.
out.
So hear me out. If the Bucks lose a certain amount of games, is there a point where they just say fuck it and like try to trade off Mike Evans, Chris Godwin to contenders? Because I was hearing
Deadline, 100%.
I almost
100.
want to say it was Mike Florio, but I don't think it was. Someone was talking about trading Godwin to the Chiefs and a way to make it work. And I was like, Godwin's not old, he's aging.
Them ACLs are though.
That's exactly my point. I was like, I don't
You
know how many unreliable receivers we want.
guys already have Kadarius. Okay, if there was a receiver to bank on in Kansas City for this season, it's Sky Moore, and that's the reason why I don't want Chris Godwin. Sky Moore played well near the back end of his rookie year. It's an Andy Reid offense. Very few rookies pop off as a receiver in that offense. It's literally
I
Deshaun Jackson and no one.
I am willing to put some stock in Rashee Rice. I am a big fan of his. I really am.
Maybe down the line, I just don't trust rookies coming into the KC team and
2024 season, he is a 1,000-yard receiver.
1,000 yards 2024.
I think Trav is going to have, after this year, he's going to be 34. I think he's going to have a fall off. I think that's just to be expected. And the thing that I love about the Chiefs, what?
What's a fall for Travis Kelce though?
A
Because I feel like Travis Kelce hitting a ledge was like when Tony Gonzalez hit a ledge. It's not really that bad for a tight end still.
No, oh, not for a tight end at all. But I'm saying like there will come a day where he is going to struggle for 1,000 yards, right? And that's a very very real possibility that we need to. I mean,
Yeah.
let's do a little. So outside of 2014, 2015, he's had over 1,000 yards for every season. I think there comes a point, right? And I think unfortunately it comes about the 10, no later than 12-year mark where he is going to struggle to have that 1,000-yard season. And unfortunately that's approaching. Like he got in 2013. So we're looking at that would be this year, but I think this year I think he still has at least 1,200 yards.
I think Travis Kelce is gonna be productive till the day he stops playing football. To be honest with you, it's just like you were saying. How productive is it? They do need to find a true number one pass catcher in this team for when Travis Kelce's gone. They don't have that.
No.
I think you bring up Rice is kind of interesting because there's really not much of a difference between him and Ross. You guys have kept on your practice squad goal last year.
Well, health.
Yeah,
That's it.
But you can just say their neck.
Yeah. That's fair. But he also it was the foot as well, right? Like he had a fusion in the foot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice, it's just he plays smaller than he is, but he plays very aggressively for his size. And we talked about this. I don't think I talked about this at all in the show, but the way that he plays the game is like Steve Smith. Like he is looking to make contact. Yeah, he's looking to make contact with the corner, the safety, like whoever's near him. He's looking to make a contested catch, and he has an amazing catch ratio on those contested catches. But it's like, and I think Steve Smith talked about this too. It's like you are already like 5 steps past the guy, and you're like slowing down to initiate contact to catch the ball when you could just keep running and get it like 5 yards down. Like, but
that is a great segue into our next segment where we're gonna cover wins, losses for each team.
Yeah.
Let's just start with KC off the rip.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of integrate with this segment teams that will and or won't make the playoffs. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to win the division. Yeah, the Chiefs over on FanDuel Sportsbook as of now is 11.5 wins. Uh, I have us marked at 13 wins on the season, so I will take the over on the Chiefs.
All right. I'm definitely not going to say under. I'm going to say push.
Yeah.
I think 11 wins is right on
Okay.
the money for them. I think they have a lot of tough games,
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
earlier on in the season. Um, but I do think this, at worst, this Chiefs team's absolute basement is a wild card team. That's
Yeah.
their basement.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ceiling is their number one team in the AFC and don't have to play anyone until the divisional.
Shit, they could be the number one team in the NFL, not just the AFC. Like they could be the overall. But I
But I'm let's see how they do next year. No Eric Bieniemy as their OC. See how this defense ready to take another step forward, another step progress, and who's gonna step up on offense outside of Travis Kelsey. Those are
definitely.
the real questions to ask.
I think you're right
But
though about Sky Moore. I do think he plays a very significant role in the offense this year. Um, it's going to be interesting to see with the new special teams rules how many guys are actually returning versus how many guys are just going to say fuck it and take the 25. Um, I
I
know
feel like
Andy
the
Reid's not
team is
happy about
gonna.
it.
Oh, no one should be. It's a
Yeah,
fucking stupid rule
yeah,
that really doesn't help player safety because there's still those fucking collisions during the kickoff.
that's true.
I All you're doing is just protecting the returner. That is
That's
the
it.
only person you're
Well,
protecting in this situation.
unfortunately, I mean, well, fortunately, that is a good thing because unfortunately we saw who was it Josh Cribbs get absolutely fucking demolished twice returning, knocked his helmet off like some of the worst hits in NFL history.
Yeah, but counterpoint, what about those guys that are on the roster bubble for covering kickoffs or being on the
I
kickoff
know
return
it
team that are
sucks.
just going to be out the fucking
The
job?
the way there is no way to maintain all of the jobs and player safety. It is a collision sport, and what they're trying to do is
Oh, yeah.
eliminate the collisions. I understand player safety. I understand they don't want lawsuits. I would love for everybody to stay healthy all the time, but unfortunately, it's part
That's not
of
the
this
world we
game.
live
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Uh,
And yeah, that's just all I got to say about like this Chiefs team. Fantastic. There's a couple of question marks.
yeah.
Tough ass fucking schedule.
For every question
I'll
mark there
take
is
them
on the
for sure.
roster, Mahomes is an exclamation point.
Yep.
Let's stay in division. Let's go Chargers next. The Chargers over under as of today is 9.5.
Nine and a
That's
half.
that's a tough one. I think the Chargers are a 10-win team. I do. Uh, I don't think their schedule's that bad. I think it's like kind of. Oh, it is actually. It isn't that good. But I still think the Chargers, barring injury, are an amazing team. I mean, we saw what they did without Keenan Allen last year. I think Eckler might be primed for a better season than he had last year as well. So I think adding this new weapon, kind of aware where they are in certain positions, I think with this offensive coordinator, the Chargers are going to be dangerous. So give me 10 wins for the Chargers.
What was their over under?
9.5.
Over. Give me
Yeah,
the over.
exactly.
I think they are your only competition for winning that for that division. Is
Yeah.
because their schedule is a little easier than you guys's, just because where they like finished last year in their
Yeah.
division. Like they get to play the fucking Tennessee Titans this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get to play the
Uh,
Chicago. You guys get to play against Chicago as well, but still,
yeah.
it's some there's some rollover games there. So I'll take them for the over.
Let's go to next up in the division. We got the Denver Broncos over 8.5 wins.
It's so rich depending on how ass they were last year.
Yeah, but if you look at how well they played in their last few games, uh,
A lot better, I
it
know.
was really good. Russ was cooking, honestly. Let's do a little social experiment here. His stats in his last few games. Do 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 do. 2022. Where is?
Didn't Russ also miss a little bit of the last couple of games of the
Yeah,
year.
so I can't, was it Willie Gay that got the interception on him and then stiff armed him, and when his head hit the ground, he got a concussion?
I And okay, Russell Wilson's also having a terrible offseason because
Yeah,
him and his wife's foundation is being fucking investigated for funds.
embezzling funds. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
All right,
idiot.
let's see. One, yeah, real. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think the Broncos are right about 7, 8 wins, unless Russ comes back cooking. So I would probably take the under on this. 8.5 just feels a little rich.
Yeah, give me the under. I don't think Sean Payne can fix everything that's wrong with Russell Wilson. A big problem with Russell Wilson, even when he was in Seattle, was he leads and runs himself in the sacks and takes
Yes.
negative plays and forces that on his offense.
Yeah.
Guess what? Not as athletic as he used to be. He still can't read the middle of the fucking field at this point in his career. He's cooked.
Yeah.
It was a bad choice by Denver. I'm sorry. Great value quarterback needs to get returned, and they need to go buy something else at the store. And they
Well,
need to bring back price match. God damn it! I'm just whenever
speaking
we talk
of
about I'm just gonna talk shit about Walmart. 24-hour WalMarts. What happened to those? I
yeah.
miss being able to go to Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning and be able to see my local crackheads there. When
Well,
else
that I
those
mean, hey,
those many people without teeth outside of a dentist office?
do you
Never.
know
Walmart took that away from
how
us.
many people I have seen take an Uber drunk as shit to a Walmart, go in, buy like a frozen pizza or whatever the fuck they want, and then leave?
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
some of them don't even buy it. I mean, they're just like, fuck it, like nobody's gonna stop me. It's
Yep. Walmart, 5 o'clock in the morning. Everything's for free.
those.
Free. That's why. Okay, that's probably why they don't do it anymore.
Yes,
But
definitely. No,
I,
those self checkouts. The keyword is checkout, and the people have to do it by themselves. And
yeah.
and when you have someone who's sitting there like, uh, you're not, it is what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
just not paying attention at all.
Fuck
Just
capitalism, though.
um,
All my homies hate capitalism. Um, last team in the division, the Raiders, 6.5. I don't even have to look at their schedule. I know it's bad. I'm saying give me the under. I don't think the Raiders win more than like. I don't think they win more than 7.
that's the
There's
rough thing, is because also we don't know the quarterback situation because of Jimmy G's foot,
yeah.
and God damn, I'm gonna hate myself for doing this. Give me the fucking
Don't
over,
say
just
the
because
over.
Tom Brady's gonna come out of retirement and fucking get them to 7, 8 wins.
Oh my God, I would just.
I think he's going to. His contract's up with Tampa. He doesn't even have to get traded. He just has to sign the dotted line. He can even fucking write his own contract at
No,
that point.
I think he's really done. I
I
really
hope
think
he
he's
is.
done.
I
Okay,
hope he is. But
I don't think he wants to play on that roster. I don't think so. Who does he want to throw to? Devontae Adams? Yeah, sure, I guess. Darren Waller's gone.
well, Hunter Renfro's good.
Okay.
Hunter Renfro's good.
Is
And
Tom Brady
also,
at age
Jacoby
60 good
Jacoby
enough
Myers.
to win that
Can he
to make
sign
a
Myers?
wild
He's
card
good too.
slot in the AFC?
He's good enough to get a wild card slot in the AFC. There's 7 spots now.
He should just go sign with the fucking Bears at this point. If he like
Oh, okay, don't get too disrespectful to Tom Brady now. Like he
no,
can
what I'm
definitely
saying, what I'm saying.
wins.
Okay, what I'm saying is if you want to win and like if you want an easy in, go to the NFC. That's what I'm saying. I'm not dissing
Oh yeah, go to
old
San
goat.
Francisco. But that train's dead and gone.
Yes.
Now, do I think Jimmy G's capable of getting this team to 7 wins too?
Yeah.
Probably. It also helps looking at their schedule. Like it helps
Uh
when you see the Patriots, when you see literally, and they have this 1 5 game span where they go Steelers, Chargers, Packers, Patriots, Bears, Detroit Lions, New York Giants. I really like that schedule for them. Because that's a winning record during that skit. Yes? Three?
I'm counting on 4 wins for the Raiders.
4 wins for the
4.
Raiders.
Yep.
I'll take the under.
I'm certainly taking the under on that one. I'm gonna keep I'm keeping track of this year, by the way.
So you had me doing the Chiefs as a push. Chargers over.
We both took the over on
Broncos-
Chargers. Yep. Broncos under.
And then Raiders
I'm taking
over.
Raiders under. You're taking Raiders over. Yep. All right. Next up, let's go to the NFC West. Where do you want to start?
Let's go to San Fran. Go.
All right.
with
I
the
kind of
division
figured you were there. Over 11.5 wins.
11.5 wins is so fucking rich.
Yeah. Especially considering their schedule is like.
Really easy beginning the schedule though.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Rams, Giants, Cardinals.
Oh, actually, their schedule's really not that bad.
It's not.
Kind of
It's
figured
not
it would
at
be
all.
worse. So here's the thing. I think we will know better when we know their quarterback situation. But as we said previously, literally, you could put me in at quarterback, have me hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, and probably be a 10-win team.
They're at 11.5.
Yeah, but okay, think about this. The Cardinals don't have Kyler.
I know.
The
I'll still
Rams,
take the over for 'em, but
Same.
I feel like I'm really banking on a Kyle Shanahan team starting off hot, which is not his MO.
I think their ceiling, if they have any quarterback who comes in and is very productive, they are probably a 14-win team. But they also have the floor of a 10-win team, so I'm like, I'd be willing to bet the over.
I'm gonna bet the over on them. I also believe in all 3 quarterbacks they have on that roster. It doesn't matter who's starting, honestly, in my opinion, in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They are the biggest competition right now for the Eagles going forward.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Let's just hop to my favorites here, the Seahawks.
Seahawks
over is 8.5. I'm taking the over on the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are at least a 10-win team. At least.
8.5. That seems like such dog shit for them, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially since like their
DK,
toughest.
Lockett, JSN, Kenneth Walker, the new kid they picked up. That's what I'm saying. 8.5 is so low. Like they're at least a 10-win team. What do they got? Rams, Lions, Panthers, Giants. They could start the year 4-0. Bengals, I think they lose to the Bengals. Cardinals, Browns could go either way. I'd say probably give it to the Seahawks. Ravens.
Yeah, they're probably a 10-win team. They're like
See?
an 8, 9, 10-win team. I'll take the over on them too. I agree with you on Seattle. I just feel like once they start actually getting into games when they're playing teams that are close to the talent level they are, that's when they're going to have issues.
Yeah.
Like that game against Detroit on September 17th in Detroit, that's going to be a real litmus test for both teams.
Definitely.
Where they're going to be going.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to overrate Detroit, but like I think they're a good team, but
they have a real shot of being a good team.
Yeah.
They ended last year on a real hot streak. They added to this roster that already had some nice pieces.
Yeah.
They completely changed how that secondary looks.
Yeah, I was very impressed with their ability to just cut bait and move on.
As they should.
Yeah.
That's the smartest thing to do as an NFL team. I think allowing Jeff Okudah to restart in Atlanta and just cutting bait there and just allowing yourself to start fresh, that was a smart decision.
Well, speaking of a revamped secondary, let's talk about this Rams defense. And the Rams at 6.5 wins. Under. I do not have to look. You have Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Cam Akers as your three offensive players. Sorry, Tyler Higbee. My bad. You're there too. Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, uh, Puka Nakua. I think he's cool too. But like this team in this division, you are not winning anything. You have a middle of the pack schedule. Like I just don't think you're right. You have Aaron Donald. That's it. I don't think you're good enough to win. I think Aaron Donald is good enough to win 17 games, but it's not a one-on-one. It's
My my biggest thing about sailing the Rams and just saying they're going to be bad next year is my only issue with it is Sean McVay is actually a good head coach.
that's true.
He got a win out of Baker Mayfield on a couple days prep.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I
I
That's the one thing that makes me a little hesitant on it.
yeah, but their roster's just
Burying them.
really
The
bad.
roster, they sold hard. So I am going to take the under with you. I'm going to feel terrible about doing it,
Yeah.
but they sold their soul for that Super Bowl, and it's really showing now.
Unfortunately, that's true. And that brings us to our last Cardinals over 4.5 wins.
God, under.
Yeah, it just depends. Does Kyler play or not? If they take the full year to kind of rehab him and see.
But does it behoove anyone for Kyler to play, including
No.
Kyler?
Yeah, exactly. Rushing back, I mean, it would behoove him to play at the end of the year if he's ready, if he's not rushed back at all, to make sure that he
Okay,
doesn't get rusty from not playing
yeah,
for over a year.
is it good for him to go play on this talent deficient offense and then possibly play bad on this talent deficient offense because of the pieces around him?
It depends on
Because
when he comes back.
if you're Kyler and this team is on its way to the number one overall pick, you know
You're gone.
you're gone.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to keep you over. They're not going to keep you over Caleb Williams.
Kyler Murray, you are a New England Patriot. Just kidding, but
Oh,
that would
that's
be
that's
really fun. That would be really fun.
I think anywhere Kyler ends up is a fun destination.
Yeah, probably.
I don't. So is your favorite destination for him New England?
Uh,
If you had to think, just teams without quarterbacks that would maybe trade for
Jets.
him. Jets.
Jets once Aaron Rodgers is done with his stint when he retires. Viking.
So
I would adore
Minnesota.
him on the Vikings.
That would be mine. Would be Minnesota. I think that their tackle combination is actually pretty good in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison's both very good wide receivers. Kyler, you don't need a great running back. He made James Conner look good.
If Tua
Like
retires, the Dolphins.
he would be great on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Fuck it, if Tua retires, just swing for it at that point. I mean, Kyler is a better player even when healthy,
Yeah.
and Kyler gives you more as a rusher.
Yeah. I agree with all of the above points. I'm not like sold out on Tua. We can go there next. We both had the under on that. Let's go to
Yeah,
the Dolphins. The Dolphins over is 9.5. I think the only thing that would prevent, I think they have the best roster in the division. The only thing that would prevent me from saying this is we don't know what Tua's health is going to be.
yeah.
And
People
also
don't want to pay the under.
that division is so competitive. I think the Dolphins' ceiling is like 12 wins, but their floor is zero because you don't know if Tua is going to be healthy. If he gets one more concussion, God forbid, I hope to fucking God he stays so healthy. I love Tua, would love to see him stay healthy. But if he doesn't, they're not. You can win some games with the talent on that
Skyler
team. Yeah, well, I don't care about that. You could,
Well, yeah, you can win some games with Skylar Thompson
yeah,
with that roster and the coach they have.
yeah,
But at that point, your floor is 4 games.
abysmal. Yeah, literally four. Uh, Next up, let's go to the Patriots because I think this is a little high. Over 7.5 wins for the Patriots.
Under. That schedule is
Yeah,
awful.
yeah. I think they have what's been rated as the most difficult schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Sorry, Patriots. I don't think you make it past 7 wins in any circumstance. I think that is your ceiling, unless Mac Jones is like I am God, but there's no chance.
What, you don't think Juju Smith-Schuster is a capable number one wide receiver?
Um, Next question. Ramondre is a more capable number one wide receiver, but we're not ready for that conversation.
Okay.
Uh, okay. No, I won't say it. I love Ramondre though. I adore Ramondre. Next up, Jets over 9.5. The Jets have my second favorite roster in this division. I do think that the Jets like ceiling is like 12, 13 wins. But that's a very hefty ceiling because their difficulty of schedule is very rough. Uh, I would love
And
to
they
see them be a 10-win team, but
see.
man, that one bites because I almost want to take the over. I almost want to bet on them winning 10 games.
What's the best thing about the Jets being that Monday night game to start the year?
What?
You know what date that Monday night game is? 9/11. In And fun fact about the Jets' new quarterback for everyone who may or may not know, this game is also taking place in New York City, in New Jersey, at the Jets Stadium, and Aaron Rodgers is a 9/11 conspiracy theorist.
God, of course he is.
And if you guys want to look into it a little bit more, it's so funny. When Deshaun Kaiser was traded over to the Packers, Aaron Rodgers' first conversation with the guy was just, "Hey, what do you think about 9/11?"
God.
And then he gave Kaiser a book and told him to fucking read it and then talk to him about it tomorrow. And I guess they had multiple conversations about 9/11.
God. Well, to finish out that division, let's go to the Bills.
I'm taking the
Bills,
over for the.
you're taking the over? Yeah, I have them at a 10-win team. Bills is a little spicy. 10.5.
10.5. I'm gonna go under, just because I think they hit 10 on the dot.
I'm really debating between 10 and 11. I think I'm
You can go
really
push.
I
You can go
really
push.
yeah, I really like the 10.5. I
You can
think
go
it's a
push
good
now.
number. Yeah, you have a push. I'll make this my push. That's fine.
There you go.
I'll take it.
I was about to say I used mine earlier
Yeah.
already.
All right. Did we do NFC East? No, we did not.
Nope.
NFC East.
So,
Let's
so
start out
far
with
we've done the.
AFC West, NFC West,
Yep.
AFC East, and now we're going NFC East. So let's go to the Eagles first and foremost. 10.5 wins. I'm taking the over without thinking. I know their schedule's difficult, but
You said it's 11 or 10?
10.5.
10.5. I will also take the over, but I don't feel good about it because of all the change that's happened
Yeah.
in Philly this offseason.
Yeah, especially secondary.
That offense is still a fucking monster.
Healthy. You have Jordan Davis coming in healthy, is what I'm thinking. You are going to run stuff. So the secondary would be my only concern for that. But like, you still have Darius Slay, right?
Linebacker.
Yeah,
Like, you're really hoping that N'Kobe Dean is ready this year to
I
ball
think,
out.
I think he will be. You remember, I loved him last year. I really do think he's gonna pan out.
Which it's gonna be interesting how many Georgia Bulldogs are gonna be starting on this fucking Eagles team in a couple years with
The
Kelee
yeah,
Ringo, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith,
the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Yeah,
Kobe Dean. Yeah, pretty much Howie Roseman just redrafted half
yeah,
that
he
defense.
did. Uh, yeah. I think the 10.5 is a good number. I do think they surpass it. One that I am very skeptic of is the Cowboys 9.5. I think the Cowboys have a loaded, talented roster. They added Brandon Cooks. That's great. They got an additional running back because you're not really sure what Tony Pollard's going to look like coming off that broken ankle. Zeke is gone unofficially, but it is what it is. Uh, Not sure how I feel about the tight end that they got. I think he's okay, but I don't think it moves the needle for me at all. How are you feeling about 9.5?
9.5. Let me see. Looking at their schedule. Doing some quick math if anyone's curious.
Their ceiling. A lot of these teams have like.
I'm gonna go with the under. I'm gonna agree with you. It's just very close for them.
Yeah, their ceiling, like, let's just say Micah Parsons goes absolutely ballistic. Dak has a Daniel Jones type of year where he utilizes his
Doesn't turn the
upside
ball
and
over at
doesn't
all.
turn the ball over. He's available all season. Like, this team could win 13. Yeah, I won't say 14. I think they could win 13 games, but realistically,
That's
I
true.
think it's more like you're going to have someone get injured. Again, knocking on wood because I don't ever wish it, but it just happens. And I think they win like 8 or 9 games.
I think a fun practice to do with this, just for everyone who's also thinking about doing betting over or unders on the season. Do you think this team could win these many games with a major injury on one end of the ball? So let's just say a major starter on Dallas goes down. Let's
We've seen
say,
Dak happen for the past 3 years. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm going to take quarterbacks out of the equation because
Okay.
every team's fucked if
Fair
their
enough.
quarterback goes down.
Fair
Every
enough.
single one. I don't care what team it is, except maybe the 49ers.
49ers.
49ers are the only team that's not fucked, I guess. Theirs all are just going to evaporate by the time they get to the NFC Championship game anyway. Um, like Dallas. Micah Parsons goes down. Do you think they can hit 9 wins, 10 wins? CD Lamb, 9 wins, 10 wins.
So, CD is a little bit different. They just lean a little bit more into their run game, and it keeps them in the games. They still have Brandon Cooks, who's like a fringe wide receiver one. So I, if CD, yes, but it
Ooh.
significantly hinders them. I think they get 9, but not more than 9.
I don't think they would get to 9 without CD. I think they legit need him as a number one wide receiver, especially how he can win out of the slot.
That's fair.
I think Dak needs a big time slot receiver.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Commanders
so we
next.
both agree. Which team?
Commanders.
Commanders, the football team.
Over 6.5. I'll take
I,
the over without looking. I'll take the over.
I know their name is the Commanders, but I'm still referring to them as the football team,
I like the football
just
team
because
better.
it's just better.
Yeah.
It is because you know why? The Commanders sound fucking stupid. It
Yeah.
sounds like you're going to hunt commies in Nam. Like it's fucking
Okay.
stupid.
So hear me out. I think that the
Terrible
Commanders.
name.
I think they take a big step forward this year offensively. We talked about this a little bit before we started recording.
Hmm.
I think they take a big step forward offensively. I agree with you. I think Bieniemy's a great. Okay, their schedule. They play the Cardinals. They play the Bears. They play the Falcons. I think at worst they tie a game with the Giants. Whatever. I think they could win once against Dallas or Philly. I think they can beat the Rams. So I'm like, I could see 7 wins out of this team. I really can.
What's their over under?
6.5.
6.5. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, see
Give me the
exactly.
over.
The
Give me the
roster's
over.
too talented.
And I believe in Sam Howell. I do. I believe in that motherfucker that's never eaten fucking steak before he got to the NFL. Did you know that? That was a fun
No,
fact about him. He's
I
never
didn't.
had any kind of meat outside of chicken before he got to the NFL.
What the hell? Why? I wonder why.
Dude, some of these guys that get drafted have had some weird ass lives,
Yeah.
and I blame homeschooling. I don't know. They probably weren't ever homeschooled or even private schooled, but I'm just gonna blame that because it's irrational, and I'm
I
choosing that today.
I was private schooled for a while. Does that explain a lot?
Does that explain a lot?
uh,
Uh, you go to a private college, and that's what explains it.
hey. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Anyway, we might be making moves IRL pretty soon.
There we go.
Giants at 7.5.
7.5. God, Giants. Why
Yeah,
do I give me the under? I think they're gonna have a bounce back year, back towards where they actually belong.
a regression, if you will.
Yeah, regression, if you will. Yeah, they are gonna actually show off the talent on their roster.
So, oops, what? I don't know what specifically I just closed. I have no concept of what it was, but that's okay. Uh, Let me look at the schedule real quick. Let me do a little mental math.
There, it's okay. I literally have zero faith in Daniel Jones, and neither is the Giants organization. If you look at the breakdown of his contract, The Giants were smart and gave him an extension they can get out of at the end of next year.
Yeah, it's really the Giants are looking like a 6-win team this year.
Dude, and the fact that they won so many one possession games last year, and that's the year they're hanging their hat on for doing so well. Oh my God, we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot, and our
Yeah,
opponents did in half our
literally,
games. Yay!
literally. Yeah, so here's my hot take. The Giants are not more than a 7-win team. I really love the Waller addition. I think they're doing everything they can to surround Daniel Jones with talent. But I kind of forgot about this until right now. For my first team that is not returning to the playoffs, I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, their Giants are not returning to the playoffs. Um, so my little like conspiracy theory right now. Um, I do think the Giants draft their future franchise quarterback in this upcoming draft class.
Yeah.
And my target for them, this is going to be the controversial part, Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, at one point when he first got to Oklahoma, was being like chalked up as the
As
next
the number one.
Mahomes,
Yeah.
number one overall prospect. Went through a bunch of stuff at Oklahoma, got benched for Caleb Williams, the second coming of Mahomes IRL. Got transferred over to South Carolina, balled out last year at South Carolina. Maybe if some of the growth during this journey, and with a year under Daniel Jones with Brian Dable, I think we could be looking at a special NFL quarterback.
That is very possible. It's a very entertaining thought.
Yeah,
I am not sure 100%, but I sure think that would be fun. So,
I do think the Giants should draft their franchise quarterback of the future next year, just because if you're going with Daniel Jones,
yeah.
you're really just walking yourself to the meat grinder once you hit like January.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same conversation about the Cowboys earlier. That's how I feel that the Cowboys should be about Dak. Uh, Good, not great.
Yeah,
I mean, even
it's
if you
just
argue great, like you can say Dak has great moments. He puts up 400 yards per game. Yeah, okay, it's all garbage time.
mhm.
When a lot of the teams let their foot off the gas. You want to argue Dak's got great talent? Okay, let's talk about availability, the best ability.
He's missed time. I will say, it's tough to find a lot of quarterbacks that are better than Dak Prescott, though.
Yeah.
You are right. He's not in that top quarter of the league, but we're talking about finite amount of humans
Yeah,
that could.
if you tell me you have him at 12, I wouldn't be mad at you.
No,
I would make arguments, especially considering recent years of availability. But if you say top 16, there's no chance I'm arguing you.
yeah, and I think once you really go individual quarterback by individual quarterback, it gets a little bit more easy to rank them. Like when it comes to like making a list like that, you just kind of try to put them in a vacuum away from their situation, which is next to impossible to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, we will see how this division cracks out next year. I'm taking the under on the Giants. I'm sure you are too.
Yes. Yeah.
We're both excited to see Darren Waller. I'm also excited to see Jalen Hyatt in this offense
Same.
as a compliment to Darren Waller as
Yeah.
well, and Darius Slayton. So this is this
How,
is a Giants team that could be entertaining.
how many
Could
yards
also
do you think Daniel Jones throws for this year?
less than 4,000.
I was going to say right about that 3,800 mark. Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
see.
I think maybe even closer to like 35, 33.
I mean, that would still be a fucking career year. His career high. What do you think his
Yeah.
career high passing yards is?
Oh, it's like 3,200.
3,205. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not great. That's why I was like, this is gonna be a career year for him,
Yeah.
and it's not that great.
Yeah. I think
Do you
floor.
remember his debut against fucking Tampa Bay when
Uh,
he lit him the fuck up? And he was like him against Jameis Winston, and of
yeah.
course neither of them know how to actually play football. So it's literally just two big ass dudes just heaving it downfield half the fucking game. Just both guys throwing straight heat
Just
as well.
woof. Yeah, I know. It's so the crazy thing is, what do you think his career stats are as a passer?
Oh, as a passer,
Yeah.
okay, for one, his touchdown interception ratio is essentially zero.
No, actually, not correct.
Oh, really? Has he actually got
Yes.
way more touchdowns?
Not way more, but it's
Barely.
it's
It's not
60,
one. It's not.
60 touchdowns and 34 interceptions.
I was about to say it's not like a 2-to-1 ratio.
I mean, it's kind of close.
Oh,
If he had eight more, it would be two, but 2-to-1's not great
can
to
can
begin
we
with.
can we add in lost fumbles to that
Oh,
too?
well, then we have to add in rushing touchdowns. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for total stats.
Yeah, his rushing touchdowns, he still doesn't score enough. Like you'll see the we all know the highlight or low light of Daniel Jones on that zone keeper fucking stumbling over his own feet when he has 20 yards left.
20 yards. Uh,
Like legitimately just 5 strides left for someone who's 6'5".
let's go to Daniel Jones rushing. No, total touchdowns.
Danny Dimes.
Thank you, StatMuse. Daniel Jones has combined 72 passing, rushing, and receiving touchdowns in his career. How many interceptions? Let's check. 34 and
Lost
fumbles.
fumbles is kind of wild. Yeah, the most lost fumbles in the league before Dable came over.
He has fumbled 42 times.
It's ridiculous. Once you add in the fumbles lost, it's absolutely insane.
Bonkers, if you will. Well,
Yeah, the man doesn't have a positive ratio at that point.
speaking of insane, let's go to the Ravens here. Let's look at 10 and a half. That's
Wait, is Ravens next? And yeah, we did NFC East,
yeah,
AFC East. Okay, then we're doing North. Okay,
yeah. 10
so
and a half.
Ravens.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's really, really wild.
I think that's such a good fucking line.
Yeah, I would not contest it at all. Oh, I closed the strength of schedule. Uh,
Give me the over.
I think so too.
Because John Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame head coach. Lamar Jackson is an absolute force of nature, and that new OC actually knows how to draw up passing concepts.
So they do actually. Let me read you their schedule and see if it sways you at all. We talked about this a little tiny bit before the draft. They play the Texans, Bengals, Colts,
Easy.
Browns, Steelers, Titans, Lions, Cardinals, Seahawks, Browns again, Bengals again, Chargers, Rams, Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, and Steelers. I think the Ravens are a solid 10-win team. I think like you can count on 10 wins, but like I think they can win 11. I think that's a really good line. I would take 11 wins for the Ravens.
Honestly, I could see them winning their division with 12.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I'm also taking the over.
It just depends. Do they split with the Bengals or
I I think they can win 12, losing both fucking games to the Bengals. Even the Bengals could sweep them, and I can still see them winning 12.
well, speak about winning 12. Bengals over 11 and a half. We both agree over. Yeah, that's fine.
11 and a half for the Cincinnati Bengals is
Yeah,
still that's yikes
I
because the
know.
tough schedule.
Yeah.
It really helps them that they improved on the offensive line. They improved defensively as well. Like
I
I'll call it improvement on defense because I think
I
they
agree.
got better on the D line.
I think that Bengals fans will be sorely disappointed with Orlando Brown on.
I don't. You know why? It's such an upgrade over what they had before.
Yeah, but they're expecting him to be.
They're expecting. I from the maybe you're seeing from what the Bengal fans I've seen. They're just fucking happy anyone's fucking their attack.
Yeah, I
Like anybody. Like Jonah Williams can't stay healthy.
yeah.
Like
I'll just
legitimately just having a body there.
I'll let them see for themselves. It's
Oh,
fine. It's okay.
hey,
Uh,
isn't like Orlando Brown turned it on near the end of last season and didn't really allow a sack. Back
yeah.
half, but
He wasn't going up against Miles Garrett.
it's
Um,
only 2 games.
Yeah, unless they make the playoffs.
Yeah. But that's also assuming Myles Garrett lines up there the whole game, which he probably won't. They'll probably have him tee up on whoever's playing right tackle for him.
Probably.
That's going to be the weakness of the offensive line, is going to be whoever's playing fucking right tackle. Because I think Jonah Williams is kind of dug in that he's not going to play there. And Lionel Collins is so iffy.
The Bengals honestly could very well have the number one seed in the AFC. They could lose 3 games. They could be a 14-win team. I'll say I really hate it. I think this is like a really solid line. I'll take the over because I think their floor is probably 12. I like the Bengals schedule better than I like the Ravens schedule because you're going to beat the Colts. It's going to happen. Jaguars, I think the Bengals beat the Jaguars. I think the Bengals beat the Steelers both times. Beat the Texans. I think they beat the
They lose to
Bills.
the 49ers on the road.
I agree. The only 3, 4 losses I could see are 49ers. They could lose to the Bills. It's potential. Chiefs and Ravens. That's it.
I could see the Jags. I could really see the Jags coming out and being an absolute force in the AFC this year.
It is possible, but I still think the
I mean,
Bengals can do enough too.
so the Bengals is over-unders at 11.
11 and a half.
Give me the under.
I really think that they win 12 games or
Give me the
13.
under.
I'll take the over.
I think the Bengals are a wild card team this year,
That's fair.
but I do think there's still a shot at them winning the whole AFC.
Yeah. I'm really I feel it in here like 12, 13 wins. So, I'll take the over. Where do we want to go next? Let's go
Pittsburgh.
Steelers. Yeah, I was right there. 8.5.
Under. Mike
So
Tomlin finally fucking has a losing season with this team.
he should have last year, but yeah, it's
Pickett's not that good. A whole year, people scheming up against Pickett. Let's go.
yeah.
Expose that man with that tiny hands.
I
Kenny Pickett is the Whopper commercials when they used to have the actors have tiny hands.
Jesus.
You have bigger hands, Brett, than fucking Kenny
Of course I
Pickett.
do, bro. I have big hands in general, but um, yeah, I kind of feel. Uh,
I'm taking the under. I don't even have to look at their schedule. I do not trust Kenny Pickett. The offensive line's better.
open the season with the 49ers. Good fucking luck.
Yep. They don't match well with a lot of the teams they play. It's just not great.
Okay, just counting these out, I'm counting at least 7 wins right here. And if we know anything about the scripted ass NFL, they'll make it
Mm.
happen. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll also take the under. I think this is probably the first year. I do think they're a good enough team to get 8 wins probably, but I don't really see them. I mean, some of these like I don't think you're winning at all again. In division games are weird, man. They could though.
Divisions are weird. They're more of a toss-up. So especially during that second meeting, can get real wild real quick.
Man. Yeah,
I'm fine
I'm taking the
saying
under still. I'll
I'm
just
fine with saying the man that took forever to beat out Mitchell Trubisky and only beat him out because he kind of got hurt in a game. Like,
yeah, I'll take the under. That's fine. The last one that we have to talk about, the most interesting one, is the Browns.
yeah, Browns over under. What is it?
9.5.
9.5 for Cleveland.
I think Cleveland is a 10-win team. I don't think their schedule's that bad. I think they're right middle of the pack as well.
You gotta love that their season opener is against the Bengals at home.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What a season opener.
Didn't they
We were
last year?
No, the season opener for the Bengals last year was Pittsburgh.
Oh. The
Um,
Bengals lost to the Browns pretty early on last year, didn't they? Or was it the Steelers or
I-
both?
they lost to the Steelers first game of the year.
Yeah. I think
Joe
they
Burrow
lost
had,
both, I'm pretty sure.
they might have.
I think
They might have. Joe Burrow struggles against the Steelers defense.
I think last year I said Miles Garrett's gonna tear their ass up, and I think you kind of laughed. You're like, yeah, I guess that's the only way they could beat him. And then Miles Garrett really did tear his ass up.
Was that before? That was probably before they went on their run.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see.
See, they
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Browns are at 9.5. Yeah, that's a really solid number. I tempted to push that.
I'll go with the
Uh, you're going under?
I'm going under. I feel like Cleveland's literally just one injury away from completely falling apart on either end of the ball. So you know what? Give me it. I don't. They don't. They're not a real deep team.
Yeah.
And if Nick Chubb goes down, which he has a history of going down, they don't have any depth at running back. That like Ford is not ready to carry the load in the run game. Receiver wise, Amari Cooper's good. DPJ
Yeah.
is good. I think
Yeah.
receivers are fine there. It's also, do you believe Deshaun Watson's going to be able to take a step back to what he was in Houston before everything went down?
I will say that they are a 9-win team. I will leave it at a flat 9, so I will take the under.
Okay.
I do think Deshaun takes a step back towards what he was, but he can only do so much. Um,
There's
let's
only so
see.
much you can. There's only so much bumping and grinding you can do.
Wrong choice of words, my friend. Wrong choice of words. Uh,
Don't worry,
NFC.
I'll just rub that one out from my memory.
Okay, all right. All right, let's get our hands on the NFC North. The Lions, nine and
My
a half.
friend, the Lions too.
9.5.
Went from rubbing kneecaps to biting them.
Ah, man. Fuck Deshaun.
Fuck this.
All my homies hate Deshaun.
Okay, so 9.5 wins for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
That is going to be more wins than they've had in over 5 years.
Yeah. Well, last year they had 8 wins.
And that was the most they've had in a long time, too.
Yeah,
I just,
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not to the point where I'm ready to crown the Detroit Lions. I'm more ready to clown on them
Yeah.
because they still are riding with Jared Goff, who rocks home away splits like he's Drew Brees in the 2010s.
Yeah.
Like, this man is dog shit on the road.
He wasn't that bad last year.
Yeah.
It was a lot worse than he was at home, but let's
Could
count.
have been worse.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9 wins, huh? Yeah, I'm looking at 9 wins for the Lions. I think going 9-8 would be amazing for them, but it's not the over. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the under for them.
Yep.
The schedule is really tough.
Yep.
I think this is the year where they, just like last year, they're competing with teams in every game. I just don't think they have what it takes yet to get over the hump.
So, I think in that division, if they do get 10 wins, it's enough to win the division. But
Oh, whoever gets to 10 first win that
yeah,
division.
100%.
I'll out right now. Whoever gets there first.
I think the Lions do make the playoffs as a wild card team, probably. But
Yeah, that is dog shit.
let's talk about a team that won't be making the playoffs this year: the Vikings.
Ooh, the Vikings you're calling about not going back?
Yeah, I don't. The Vikings. We saw the Vikings fucking die against the Giants in the playoffs last year. Uh,
I don't think the Giants are making it back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the Vikings just don't have a defense. So I think when you are making Kirk Cousins throw more than 40 times per game,
I
probably not winning.
This is gonna be an exciting Vikings team to watch because straight up they are gonna just be throwing the rock to just survive every single game.
It's over
That
eight and a half.
that addition of Jordan Addison is so fun. Over under 8.5.
Yeah.
I will take the under on it,
Yeah, same.
but
Yeah, they have like a great offensive like build, but you
oh
have Kirk
yeah,
Cousins as your quarterback. He has a ceiling and limits that we know of, and you don't have a defense. So if you're relying and Dalvin Cook,
okay. I would take Kirk Cousins over Dak Prescott.
yeah, I would too, but
Dalvin Cook is essentially a dead man walking in
yeah,
Minnesota. You're correct. I think the offense is fantastic though, as
yes,
a whole. The line is much better. The receivers are great. Tight end's good, like you were saying.
okay. Stupid question.
Yeah,
Mahomes is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. We both agree.
yeah.
We saw what Mahomes did in 2018, where he got absolutely stuffed by the Patriots because even though we kept scoring on them, we didn't get any stops. So,
Oh, that was also because you could. Bill Belichick did the thing that he usually does with young quarterbacks. He was able to also bait Mahomes in the turnovers.
do you think you can't bait Kirk Cousins into turnovers?
Oh no. I'm just more or less saying. I'm just saying your guys' defense selling out wasn't the only reason you guys
Yeah,
lost that.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But
That's more or less
when you
what I'm saying.
ask Kirk Cousins to do everything and you don't have a defense, that's basically how I'm going to see it.
Hey, he did against the Colts and Bills last year.
Great. Great.
Okay, say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins. Those were two magical performances in the second halves of those
Historical.
games.
Historical, yeah.
I
Um,
I do think Minnesota moves on from Kirk Cousins at
yes.
the end of this year.
Same.
I think he fucking pops off though on his way out.
I
I
think so
think
too. He has to.
he's gonna walk out with like 4,500 yards, 4,600 yards at the end of this. I'm saying like he's gonna have a career year, walk out of Minnesota, go get the bag from wherever he goes next.
No, you're spitting. Let's see. Yeah, last year he had 4,500 yards. Justin Jefferson led the league in receiving, and that's including like 2 games where he got shut out. Like Justin Jefferson could have had over 2,000 yards last year. Yeah.
And now he has another receiver that can draw coverage.
Now he has a wide receiver too that's not Thielen.
And KJ Osborne can stay at his role as the
Yeah.
number 3 on that team.
And you have
They have
all of
year
the
of
tight ends. Yeah.
full year TJ Hawkinson, Dalvin Cook. We don't know if he's going to be playing there or not.
No, I don't
This
think so.
offense is fun.
Yeah.
I'm still going to take him for the under
Same.
because the defense, they've lost too many pieces, losing Zadarius Smith, losing Patrick Peterson. I just don't think they're going to stop enough people, like you said, to really be able to stay in games for long term. But they're going to be so fun to watch.
Yes.
They're going to be a team I bet on with points a lot this year, and I'm excited to see them.
I agree with that. I'm going to combine the next two because they have the same total. Packers and Bears are both over 7.5, and I feel the same way you do about the Vikings for the Packers because I think that Jordan Love's going to ball out and people aren't going to expect it.
I do also. Okay, as we all know, I'm a Packers fan. I absolutely love the idea of Jordan Love being our starter this year.
Yes.
Because he is a boomer bust quarterback. He's either gonna get us in a position to where we can win games, or we're gonna suck with it.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally down with sucking this year.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna suck, we need to suck harder than the Cardinals.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm really hoping those pick six happens. Or we're gonna be winning games.
Yeah.
Have a shot in our division, winning going to the playoffs. I am just excited to see a full year of Jordan Love. First year without Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of possibilities. I think our defense has gotten a lot better this offseason. Joe Barry's still our defensive coordinator, though, so that does put a cap to us and what we can do. I'm excited to see a full year of healthy Christian Watson, with Romeo Dobbs on the opposite side of him.
Both of your running backs healthy, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Both our running backs healthy. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a great year.
Same.
My answer for both teams, because I'm also going to talk about Chicago as well. I think they did a great job this offseason, adding DJ Moore, adding to that offensive line, adding linebackers to their defense, really doing everything they can to help top the bottom roster. I'm taking the over for both of these teams.
Same.
So I think pretty much every team in this division is
Hmm.
going to end around the same
Yeah,
win total,
like 8 wins.
somewhere somewhere between 6 and 10 wins.
I don't think anybody goes that low. I don't think. I think even the Vikings have like 7, but
The six would be us if we finished last
oh,
place.
okay, that's
The
valid. That's
Falcons have
valid.
potential to only win six
That's
as
valid.
well, just because we do still need top end talent on the team.
No, I'm right there with you. I think the Bears are the ones that kind of scare me the most because they do have some really difficult opponents, but then they have some dudes that they should just like farm. Like you're playing the Cardinals, you should farm them. You're playing the Falcons, like that should be Saints.
I don't know, man. We're gonna talk about when we get to the AFC
Okay.
NFC South, but I think the Falcons are a sleeper team this year.
It's possible, but if they're getting towards the end of the year and they're still not winning, like if the Falcons are looking at like 2 and like 12, like what do you think they're doing at that point?
I mean, yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
It really depends. Um, so Chicago, you're taking the over under
I'm taking the over on both of those teams. Yeah.
over on both as well. Cool.
All right.
Um,
Let's go
well,
AFC South.
yeah.
This
Let's
is
uh
this is where things get real interesting. The Jaguars are over 9.5.
taking it.
I'm taking that as well. I like that. I love the Jags this year. I think they're going to take advantage of that division being a little bit weaker. Um, I
I
mean,
think
even in their tough matchups, I think they match up well with just about everybody.
I think is there a team in the AFC that they don't match up with at all? Because I think they literally match up with every single team in the AFC. That's my main reason why
I
I've also been pushing them for to be the dark horse.
Yeah, no, I think you're pretty right about that. I think
Even you guys, there's they were close with you guys in the playoff game last year,
the
especially with the addition of Calvin Ridley to this offense.
yeah, the only ones that I could probably say would be Dolphins. Just
Dolphins would be hard for
yeah,
them to match
I
up
think that's
against
I think that's it.
receivers. Them and maybe Cincy, but even Cincy,
Yeah,
you
that's
can you can you can overcome. Actually, you can even overcome that with the Dolphins because the Jaguars have invested a lot of money on their defensive line. You can make up for the lack of coverage they have on the back end with a good pass rush. We saw Philly win a Super Bowl doing it a couple years back. It just really takes that pass rush being something special to get it done. But that's why they drafted Trayvon Walker first overall last year, right? They're really hoping for that big jump. If you follow me long enough, I was a big Kayvon Thibodeau fan in that draft class. Still think he's
yeah,
gonna have a fantastic career with the Giants.
same.
I just think they picked the wrong guy at the top, but that's fine.
Well, speaking of a team that's known for picking the wrong guy at the top, Colts are at 6.5 wins.
Ooh. Also, don't know what you mean by that shot there.
Well, everybody thinks, Anthony Richardson's the boomer bust guy, and like the Colts have not been able to get a quarterback since Luck. So it's like
I I think I love the fit. I
I
love
do
the fit
too.
of Anthony
I love
Richardson there.
Anthony Richardson. I do.
And I think he's going to do well with that run game. I think we're going to see the offensive line get back to the form they were in 2021, not how they were in 2022. I think having a quarterback that doesn't have a high pressure to sack rate is going to help them exponentially. And this also opens up a lot for Jonathan Taylor. Really being able to run the ball with JT and Anthony Richardson is going to help a lot. What's the Colts over under?
It is 6.5. I think they can win 7 games. I
I
don't think
think
they win more than 8, but I think they can win 6.5 games for sure.
yeah, I'll take the over for Indy
We agree.
because I think Indy's probably the second best team in that division at this point.
All right. Titans are at 7.5.
No,
Yeah, I'm taking the under. Don't have to look. Don't care.
like you were saying earlier, they're just the Cardinals in the AFC.
They really are.
Like
Uh,
Treylon Burks, I don't think is really going to be that good of an NFL wide receiver. He's
I
not a one.
do, but he can't with what they have right now.
Yeah.
Uh, like we both said, uh, Will
Sucks that
Levis
his
has to come out balling.
yeah, and or Ryan Tannehill has to come back playing well, but Ryan Tannehill only plays well if everything
Boo.
else is perfect around
Yeah,
him.
no, I don't want to see that.
And okay, hot take for Treylon Burks. How pissed would you be if the best quarterback you played with since high school was KJ Jefferson at Arkansas?
Very.
It might be fucking true. Um,
That would be so
and it
sad.
would piss me off. Okay, so what's the Texans win total? So I can
I
just
believe the Texans are also 6.5. Yeah, the Texans are also
yeah,
6.5.
under. Be under. They're gonna. You know what? Good on you, Cardinals. Give me the under. Good for you, Cardinals. Because they own the Texans' first round pick next year, and I know you're a bigger CJ Stroud guy than I am. I don't think he's gonna make the Houston Texans work because he doesn't have a loaded receiving core to throw it to, like he had every single year at State.
Yeah,
Looking at Houston's schedule, I don't like it.
I'm really tempted to take the over.
If you believe in your guy, do it.
It's a first year thing though. That's why I'm like,
First,
fuck.
yeah, first year head coach. Yeah, first
Defensive
year
minded
quarterback.
head coach. Yeah.
Got Will Anderson though. I love the fuck out of D'Amico Ryan's getting Will Anderson, but he's gonna be just the next line of great like Houston Texans defensive linemen that are just on shit teams. Mario Williams was the first one, then JJ. Jadeveon Clowney had a couple of nice years in Houston.
I am not giving up on CJ Stroud or the Texans, but I do think that they have a 6-win first year.
Yeah, ooh, you're richer than I am. I was feeling like 3 or 4.
No, they're okay. There is no chance that they lose both games to the Colts. They will
I
split
think
the series.
I
They
think they lose both games to the Colts and split the series with Tennessee.
they could potentially beat any one of the Steelers. I think that they have a decent enough team to maybe beat the Saints. Panthers, they could beat the Panthers. They could beat the Buccaneers. They could beat the Cardinals for sure. If they don't, I will give
They
up.
could probably beat. If they don't beat the Cardinals, then I have so many questions.
Yeah, and then like when we get to the end of the year, it's like they play the Titans twice, and the Titans have probably already given up by the end of the season. And then they play the Colts again, and it's like
Hot take,
I think this team
Cardinals.
could win 6 games.
If you're the Cardinals and you're in a position where that game is close or you're tied, do you and you have okay? I'm the You're Gannon. You're the head coach in the situation. Kyler's not playing. You and the Texans are tied. You are moving down the field, and you're about to get in the field goal range for a possible game-winning field goal.
Have a player fake an injury.
Or you just take a knee and take it the overtime.
No, have a player fake an injury. Because if you take a knee, there's going to be so many questions, and then it's going to be about the competitive integrity of the sport and why the NFL needs a lottery.
I would just take the knee,
Ah,
force it to go to OT, and then if you can get OT to end in a tie, perfect. Because honestly, if you're the Cardinals, you want you and the Texans to win as few games as possible.
oh, definitely. Oh, well, that
And if
makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
if that means you tying with them to try to guarantee the first and second overall pick, you'd fucking do it.
that
Because
makes sense.
imagine if they have the second overall pick, how much draft capital they can accumulate trading away the number 2 overall pick and Kyler Murray. Because
So
someone's
much.
going to come up for Drake May.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. The Giants. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, that's what the Giants have. Okay. That's if they're willing to mortgage everything, which they might.
It might. It's the Giants after all. Uh, yeah, we both agree under. I am definitely higher on them than you are, but I I will still take the under. Which
Yeah.
leaves us with our last dog shit division to murk through.
The NFC South. Okay, you want to start with New Orleans?
Yeah, 9.5 wins.
9.5 wins for the
They have the
Saints.
easiest schedule in the NFL.
I know. That's why they went out and got Derek Carr because they knew they could still make the playoffs.
Yeah, I have a hard time imagining the Saints
They could
not
start
winning
the year
nine
4-1.
games. Yeah, I really think the Saints win like 13, 12 games at least. Even with no Kamara, even with no Michael Thomas, I think the
At
Saints.
9.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the over. There's no chance they piss away 8 wins in that
They
division. There's no
they
chance.
could definitely do. They could definitely piss away 8 wins in that division.
Not with Derek Carr. I don't think
Oh,
so.
God damn it! I think they're right at 9 wins. Is what pisses me off. Yeah, I think they're right there at 9 wins.
Okay, Titans win, Panthers win,
Yep.
Packers could go either way. I'll give it to the
That,
Packers.
I'll get. Yeah, it's about to say it's at Green Bay.
Bucks win, Patriots win,
Win.
Texans
Texans
probably win.
probably gonna win.
Jaguars
Jaguars
loss.
probably lost.
Colts it could go either way. I'll give it the win for the sake of argument here. Bears,
Yeah, that would is what would get me into double digits. But
I'm saying 10 wins.
I'm gonna take the under.
I'm taking
I
the
think
over.
I think the Saints and the Rams are gonna be two great examples this year that the salary cap is real.
Yeah, dude. The last 5 games of the season though, hear me out. Panthers, Giants,
I
Rams,
know.
Bucks, Falcons. They win at least 4 of those games.
Yeah, I think they lose the last game.
Maybe, but still, you start the season 4-1, you end the season 4-1. You're already at 8-2.
They lose everything. I think they lose everything in between though.
No.
That's my thing. That in between schedule is a little tough.
Well, I'm sticking with my guns. Pew pew.
I'll take the under for the Saints still.
All right. Next up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6.5.
Under.
Let's see. How
This is
bad?
this is really saying Baker Mayfield can't turn it around too.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh, and I'm gonna call it Tampa's not going back to the
7,
playoffs.
8. They are at best an 8-win team. Yeah, I don't think they're going to the playoffs either. I think, man, yeah,
I'm calling it now. Atlanta's my winner of this division.
I don't want to go under because I think the roster's too talented to go under, but I'll say 6 wins just for shits and giggles. So I'll go under.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
I just think the Buccaneers gonna be bad. I think it's time. Time for you to revert back to what you were before you went and signed Tom Brady.
real, bro, it's like
Just
something. I don't know. It's like a suppository. He just puts the entire team up his ass and carries it around until he decides to shit him out when he's done. Uh, Falcons 8.5 wins.
over.
I have been too harsh on the Falcons. I do think that Desmond Ritter is probably the best quarterback of his class. Not saying much there, but I
Yeah,
do
the class is dog shit.
the
I will admit that.
what the Falcons have done with their rebuild this year. They're definitely an interesting team that I wouldn't be opposed taking 9, 10 wins on. So I big believer in Bijan. I mean, we saw Algier, who was not projected to be like a stud or anything, rush for over a
Had
thousand
over a
yards.
thousand yards.
Yeah, and that's with Cordero getting numbers in there too. I think Kyle Pitts comes back healthy.
Drake London is Drake London is also gonna be a great part of that offense too. Such a big wide receiver that can move so fluidly.
Yeah, I
You
think
just play slot or outside, it's great.
if you ask me like what receiver right now I have like at the top, so there's like S tier, A tier, B tier. If you ask me the guy that I at the top of B tier, it's Drake London.
Yeah, I could see London turn into like a superstar this year.
I
Like he,
he's on the verge of A tier. It's just like the Falcons did not throw last year. So
and then when they did, they threw like dog shit
yeah,
because it was Marcus Mariota.
so terrible. Be gone.
Be gone.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see Desmond Ritter first full year as a starter. Arthur Smith's system, fantastic, possibly the best running back in the NFL right
Yeah.
now. Bijan Robinson. Generational prospects at tight end and running back on this offense. Is it going to be with an amazing offensive line? Is it going to be enough to push them to win the worst division in football?
I will stand by me saying I will stand by this. You can quote tweet me if you would like with this clip. My top 3 running backs in the NFL right now, Austin Eckler is number 2. Christian McCaffrey is my number 1 this year.
Mm-hmm. Bijan.
I don't think as much as I love him, no. I really, really, really I think Nick Chubb is going to have a good year. If we're talking like in terms of just rushing yardage, if Nick Chubb stays healthy,
Yeah, we could definitely see it if he can stay healthy and sustain that workload that he will get as the number 1 running back in Cleveland.
but
Yeah.
in terms of best, I still think Derrick Henry's my number 3.
Mm. I think Derrick Henry doesn't have knees left.
Shit, maybe not, but he's got the fucking frame. Just throw him at that point. Just
I I think Derrick Henry is pretty much. I'm gonna probably eat crow for this because I said this last year too. I don't care. It's gonna happen eventually.
yeah.
Like it. I don't think he's got it
No,
anymore to be able to put that run
that's
game on his back.
that's so fair. They have nothing but him. That's it.
Yeah.
So, no, I completely understand. I still think that Derrick Henry is
And
the
Chig,
third
Chig at
best.
tight end should also be a sleeper for people.
Chigume Okonkwo, love him. Yes.
I'm only gonna call him Chig.
That's okay.
Because
Um,
there's no way I'm pronouncing all that.
that's okay. I struggled my way through. It was like verbal drunk driving. It's fine. The last team that we have is the Panthers at 7.5.
No, under.
As much as I like Bryce, uh, the Panthers traded away a lot. You trade away your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
You have Miles Sanders, who is a great running back in the regular season, but a choke artist towards the end of the season in the playoffs. I 1, 2, 3,
Give me under.
4, 5, 6, 7. They're 7.5. Yeah, they're probably a 7-win team. Being gracious, we had this conversation before. If the Panthers do take Bryce, it like my ceiling for them is like 9 wins, but that's like if everything is ideal. Other than that, it's probably a 7 or 8 win team, and I would be more willing to bet the under on things going wrong than things going right. So, yeah.
Yep, I think right there is a good place for them to be. Is like I think right at 4 or 5 wins, which the less they win, the better it is for Chicago. Honestly,
Definitely. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So the things that we wanted to close on here
mm-hmm.
are wild card teams. So last year for the AFC, it was the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Dolphins. Um, I think all 3 of those teams are very likely to make the playoffs again. The AFC is the one that's definitely harder to predict. if I had to say sub anybody else in, man, that would be a hard one. The Jets would probably be the most likely to slide in.
I'd say Jets over the Dolphins just because I don't believe in Tua staying upright.
Yeah,
Outside of only concussions, I I put this out there that I wonder if Tua actually hinders or helps the Dolphins' long
yeah,
term strategy at quarterback. I think it hinders because you have to take health into account with him. Not only because of concussions, he's missed time with his hip injury.
hip,
He's
yep,
missed, and also he's had multiple high ankle sprains on the same fucking ankle. It's the way he puts pressure down on it, being a lefty. Like
yeah,
it, I think he's just fragile.
yeah. It's
To
very
put it
very possible.
to put it as blunt as possible. He's fragile. You might as well just wrap him up in fucking bubble wrap before you send him out there. His, his skull is obviously already working on its own self-made bubble wrap for the concussion he's having.
Yeah, man. I
I,
definitely sympathize with it. You hate to see it, but when you get concussions of that severity within such a short span of one another, uh,
you're so likely to have it happen again.
yeah, it's terrible.
Every concussion you get, it's like a force multiplier. You are more and more likely to get another one with each concussion you get.
Yep, I'm sitting here at 9, praying for no mo.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
NFC. I think we agree the Vikings are not going to be the winners of their division in the first place, let alone the wild cards, and the Bucks are probably not going to be a playoff team.
I
So,
could see Minnesota still sneaking in as a
yeah,
possible. I'm not gonna completely denounce them. I will completely denounce Tampa Bay. I'll say
yeah.
there's no chance in hell they're making it.
I will be bold and I will say I believe the Lions are going to win their division with
Hmm.
10, and then the NFC South. I know you're on the Falcons train. I think the Saints are going to win the division, but I think the
Mhm.
Falcons are a wild card team. Who are the other wild cards? Oh, the Seahawks or the 49ers. One of those two is definitely going to be the wild card team, whichever one doesn't win the division. And then the last one,
Are we, as a community, are we doing the right thing just because Geno Smith's a vet by thinking he can repeat the performance he had last year?
I don't think he has to. I think Kenneth Walker was the only running back present available healthy last year. They picked
It's
two
not bad he had
guys.
a couple of games.
Yeah, but he wasn't available.
Yeah, after a couple of games.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the Seahawks are in a much better position this year. I like their draft. Uh, so I definitely think the Seahawks make it back. Um, Seahawks, Saints, Lions, and then the last two Falcons and let me slide the Packers in there. I'd take the Packers over the Vikings this year.
Mm. I if I had to pick an NFC North divisional winner today,
Mm,
I would say Chicago.
really? That's bonkers, bro.
I think,
That's
yeah, this is
crazy.
bonkers coming from me as a Packers fan, but I really do think they did the best job
Yeah.
adding to that roster during this offseason, and I do think Justin Fields is the best quarterback in that division. I think adding DJ Moore, adding a right tackle is going to really help that show.
Very possible. I it almost doesn't want to come out of my mouth, but I almost believe in Jared Goff.
Oof. Oof.
I'm not
I
saying
don't.
that he's better than Fields, but I'm saying the Lions roster offensively is better and defensively is at least comparable, if not better, to Chicago's.
It's probably comparable to Chicago's because Chicago had a lot of young guys last year that are going to continue to improve.
Yeah. I
Offensively, I'm not sure. Let me walk that back. Offensive line, 100%. Detroit, better than Chicago. Quarterback, we'll call it a wash just because Fields only
I'll
has like
I'll
three
even
years.
give you Fields. I'll give you Fields. I think Fields is
Receiver.
a better passer. From what we've seen in college and what we've seen what he was able to do with no offensive line, I'll give you as a dual threat quarterback, Fields is certainly better.
Receivers. Does Detroit honestly have better receivers as a whole? especially with Williams being out the first 6 to 8 games.
Very possibly. Yeah, I
I mean,
I love
Chicago really good.
DJ Moore
Yeah,
is
he's right
it.
up there with Amon-Ra, if
Yeah,
not better.
that's fine. But that's
And then,
really it. I mean, and you have the tight
well, I
end,
mean, yeah, Cole Kmet is
Cole
pretty good
Kmet's
tight
fine.
end. And then also they have
Chase
Chase Claypool
Claypool.
as their number 3, number 4 wide receiver. Like add in number 1 wide receiver to this team that had a bunch of guys who are number 2s and number 3s. Darnell Mooney is going to be able to pop off now as a number 2 wide receiver. I like this offense.
There's Khalil Herbert as their running back and somebody else versus
Will Herbert was really efficient last year.
so was David Montgomery.
But
And
I'll put this out there. When both of them played, Khalil Herbert was more explosive back.
definitely, well, he's younger too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have number 12 pick in the draft here in Detroit. I'm saying I think Detroit has the better offense. If you want to call their defenses like even, and they have the better offensive line. That's what's going to sell Detroit over Chicago for me. I like Justin
I'm,
Fields better than Jared Goff,
ooh,
but
side bet. Who wins more games, Chicago or Detroit? Obviously, if I'm taking Chicago to win the division, I think Chicago.
both of them play the Chiefs, so rest in piss. But
Both of them play the Chiefs. He said the thing I care about. Cool. But I do think every team in the NFC North is about the same level of talent. I just think the small things that Chicago did is what's gonna be what pushes them over the top. I don't think Jared Goff, once you get him in the situations that are make or break near the end of the year, that he really rises to the occasion. That doesn't happen.
to be entirely 100% honest with you, I think both of them are 9-win teams. The Bears, let me count just to make sure. 1, 2,
Their schedule's nice. Chicago has a really nice schedule for them, especially some of their harder games are at home.
7, 8, 9. I think both of them are 9-win teams. I think if anything, the Bears will win the division because they win the tiebreaker. But
Yeah.
I think they both have 9 wins. The
That's why
Lions would be more likely to get a 10th win than the Bears. Well, actually, fuck that schedule. I don't know.
that's why I said the first team in this division that can get the 10 wins is fucking taking it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I have both of them winning out against the Vikings, though.
You know what I really want to see from this division?
What?
Every team split the series.
That would be
That's what I would love to see.
crazy. I just want to see quarterbacks sit back and fucking throw it or fucking run it. That's what I want.
This is one of the rare years as a Packers fan. I have no expectations for my team.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
Well, I mean, given Aaron Rodgers' performances
Departure.
in the postseason the past few years, you shouldn't have expectation past January anyway. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, it's okay.
No, honestly, it's the special teams more than it
I
was
mean,
Aaron Rodgers a lot of the years, but
I was about to say, at least we didn't make it there, just get crushed. That Tampa Bay Super Bowl was rough.
oh,
We should
yeah.
have beaten Tampa that year too. I'm still pissed about that game.
Yeah. Well,
Honestly, if we beat Tampa in that game, I think we do beat you guys in the Super Bowl.
very possible.
We were more complete than Tampa Bay was with David Bakhtiari. If David Bakhtiari plays in that last game against Tampa, we're winning.
Yeah, that's really fair. I think that's a very good assessment. I think that's probably accurate.
Because every team, that was one of the rare years the NFC was legit better than the AFC.
Yeah,
We
for
didn't
sure.
think it was coming out.
Yeah, but it's gonna take a little while for that to be true again.
Yeah. Well, we will see. And thanks everyone for coming out. First episode we done in a while.
Yeah, 2 hours too.
2 hours. So
Yeah.
we'll get it up to you guys for being a little late on this episode.
If you are still here, if you're still watching, comment GOAT for the GOAT debate of Mahomes versus Brady. I as a closing gift, if there are any Patriots fans listening, I will tell you, I still think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. I think when you get into that like 2, 3, whatever range, you can kind of argue like the Montana, the Manning, whatever. I think Mahomes has solidified himself. If he retired today, I think Mahomes has the accolades as a quarterback to be solidified within the top five.
I would say top 10,
Yeah,
just because I don't want to disrespect a lot of the guys that came way before Mahomes.
yeah, that's
Like
totally
guys
fair.
like Otto Graham, Johnny Unitas that really
Warren
paved.
Moon, yeah, all of the above.
So I'll say top 10. I won't say top 5 just yet. I want to see him continue to round out his career before I would do that. But yeah, Mahomes has had the best start of his career of any quarterback we've ever seen. Honestly, Mahomes is just essentially the career he's having is if Dan Marino won a couple of Super Bowls
Literally, poor guy.
to start off his year of
Rip.
career.
He should have, but
But I feel like we can probably cover this more for a future episode.
yeah,
I definitely have some theories about quarterback development and how much team success can be tied together with that, and how it's kind of both chicken and the egg.
yeah.
But we'll get to that for a future episode.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace out, y'all.